The Watcher, a true story of terror. It was the summer of 2014 when the Broaddus family, Derek, Maria, and their 3 young children, found their dream home in the quiet, upscale neighborhood of Westfield, New Jersey. The house was a beautiful, sprawling, colonial-style home with a white picket fence, a large backyard, and enough space for their growing family. It was everything they had ever wanted, but little did they know their dream home would soon become the setting of a nightmare that would haunt them for years to come. The first letter. The family had just moved in when the first letter arrived. It was addressed to the new owner and had no return address. Derek opened it, expecting it to be a welcome note from a neighbor or a real estate agent. Instead, what he read sent a chill down his spine. The letter began, "Dearest new neighbor, welcome to the neighborhood. I am the Watcher. I have been watching this house for decades. Do you know what lies within the walls of 657 Boulevard? Why are you here? I will find out." The letter went on to describe the house in unsettling detail, mentioning the family's children by name, and even referencing the layout of the bedrooms. The writer claimed to have been watching the house for generations and expressed a disturbing interest in the young blood that now lived there. Derek and Maria were horrified. They tried to brush it off as a sick joke, but the specificity of the details made it impossible to ignore. Who could have known so much about their family and their new home? The Watcher's obsession. The letters kept coming. Each one was more menacing than the last. The Watcher wrote about the family's daily routines, their children's activities, and even their pets. It was as if someone was watching their every move. One letter read, "I see you've painted the nursery. Pink for a girl, how lovely. I wonder how she'll look in the basement. The walls down there are so cold, so dark. Perfect for a child's laughter to echo." Another letter threatened, "You don't understand what you've done. This house is mine. The blood that runs through its veins is mine. I will take back what is mine." The family was terrified. They installed security cameras, changed their locks, and even hired a private investigator. But the Watcher remained elusive. The letters were always handwritten, with no fingerprints or DNA evidence. The postmarks were from different locations, making it impossible to trace their origin. The history of the house. Desperate for answers, Derek and Maria began researching the history of the house. They discovered that the previous owners had also received strange letters, but they had dismissed them as pranks. The house had been built in the early 1900s and had passed through several families, but there were no records of violence or tragedy associated with it. However, one neighbor mentioned a local legend about a man who had lived in the area decades ago. He was said to be a recluse who spent his days watching the neighborhood from his window. Some claimed he had died in the house, but no one could confirm the story. Was the Watcher a ghost, a deranged stalker, or something else entirely? The investigation. The Broaddus family contacted the police, but without concrete evidence, there was little they could do. The FBI was brought in, but even they hit a dead end. The Watcher's letters were analyzed by handwriting experts, but no matches were found. The family hired private security, but the letters kept coming. One night, Derek thought he saw someone standing in the backyard, staring up at the house. He grabbed a flashlight and ran outside, but there was no one there. The security cameras captured nothing. Was it his imagination, or had the Watcher been watching them in person? The breaking point. The stress began to take its toll on the family. Maria couldn't sleep, constantly fearing that the watcher would break into the house. The children, sensing their parents' anxiety, became withdrawn and fearful. Derek and Maria knew they couldn't stay in the house, but they also couldn't sell it. Who would buy a house with such a dark history? They tried to rent it out, but the tenants left after receiving their own letters from the watcher. The house sat empty, a constant reminder of the nightmare they had endured. The unsolved mystery. To this day, the identity of the watcher remains a mystery. The Broaddus family eventually sold the house, at a loss, but the new owners have also reported receiving strange letters. The case has been featured on numerous true crime shows and podcasts, but no one has ever been able to uncover the truth. Who is the watcher? Are they a ghost, a stalker, or something even more sinister? And why are they so obsessed with 657 Boulevard? The answers may never be known, but one thing is certain. The watcher's presence lingers, a shadow over the house and the lives of those who dare to live there.